It's a vision that says the protection of our power and those who back us.
It wasn't a debate. It wasn't politics. It was a trap. And the moment Barron Trump stepped on that stage, nobody could have predicted what would unfold. One question, one statement, and everything he thought he knew about his family and himself was about to unravel. If you think you know this story, watch closely, because every second will leave you on the edge of your seat. The lights blazed down like a spotlight on a battlefield. Cameras clicked, microphones buzzed, and millions of eyes were glued to screens across the country. On one side, Barron Trump, a teenager raised in the echo of media storms, political battles, and family controversies. On the other, Barack Obama, calm, measured, a man whose voice once carried the weight of the world. The air wasn't tense. It was electric. Barron started confidently. His eyes scanned the room, calculating. Every muscle in his young body screamed preparation. He was ready. He had rehearsed, imagined, and anticipated every attack he might face. But what he wasn't prepared for was the truth hitting him like lightning. "You and Jasmine Crockett will be in jail soon," Barron snapped. His voice, sharper than anyone expected, cut through the studio. The audience recoiled. Even the camera operators froze mid-frame. Obama didn't blink. He didn't flinch. His calm was a shield, a wall that absorbed the verbal onslaught. The words hung heavy. Why hadn't the DNA test happened? Why had nobody addressed it before? The room felt like it was closing in, turning the stage into a pressure cooker of expectation, anger, and revelation. Millions were watching, waiting for the first real confrontation to land. Barron wasn't just arguing. He was unloading years of inherited battles. Raised in the constant shadow of Donald Trump, he had absorbed rumors, criticisms, and narratives spun across TV screens and dinner tables. Every whispered comment about his family, every controversial headline, had built layers of frustration inside him. Across from him, Obama spoke first. Smooth, presidential, controlled. Unity, responsibility, reconciliation. The hallmarks of a lifetime spent mastering words. Hopeful, lyrical, almost hypnotic. But Barron wasn't buying it. He cut in, his voice sharp. "Your policies divided the country. You twisted the story about my family. You painted us as villains." The audience froze. No one expected this level of intensity from a teenager. This wasn't ordinary debate chatter. It was raw, emotional, radical in its honesty. Barron was speaking truth through the lens of inherited rage and frustration, and he wasn't holding back. Every accusation, every pointed word, pushed Obama into a different kind of space, a place where calm had to meet fire. Then came the pivot, the moment that changed everything. Obama leaned forward, voice steady, eyes locked. "If your family wants to clear its name," he said, measured, precise. "Stop with the accusations. Show the truth. Why hasn't your father taken a simple DNA test?" The studio went silent. Every jaw tightened. Every heartbeat accelerated. Barron's confidence wavered for the first time. This wasn't politics anymore. This wasn't a speech. This was personal. It cut through everything he thought he understood about his family, his story, his identity. The accusation wasn't directed at Obama. It was aimed at the very foundation of what Barron had grown up believing. The fire in his eyes flickered. Breath caught. Certainty wavered. The spotlight shifted. Not onto Obama's past, but onto Barron's doubt. Barron tried to respond, but the words tangled in his throat. The audience leaned forward. Millions held their breath. His heart pounded, loud enough that the silence around him felt almost suffocating. I don't know," he whispered. It was the first crack in the armor, a crack so large it echoed through the studio like thunder. All the anger, all the certainty, all the inherited battles that had defined his presence on that stage slipped through his fingers. "I need to go," he muttered, and turned abruptly, walking off the stage. The silence that followed wasn't just quiet. It was thick, almost tangible. Cameras stayed locked. Microphones picked up every tiny shuffle. The audience didn't clap. They didn't breathe. They simply watched Obama, who remained seated, solemn, almost mournful. When he finally spoke, his words weren't aimed at victory. They weren't aimed at winning a debate. They were aimed at truth, clarity, and anyone watching who had ever clung to stories they hadn't questioned. Leadership isn't about avoiding hard questions, he said. It's about facing truth, especially when it's uncomfortable, especially when it challenges the stories we've told ourselves for years. Every generation must confront its shadows. That truth always rises, no matter how long it takes. The weight of his words rippled through the audience. Some nodded, some whispered, some sat in stunned silence. But everyone felt it. The lesson, the power, the calm precision that cut deeper than any shouting ever could. Across the country, viewers replayed the moment. Social feeds exploded with comments about Barron's unexpected collapse and Obama's steady, unshakable composure. Analysts debated the moment endlessly. Barron came ready for war, one commentator said, but he wasn't ready for the truth. The dramatic energy of the stage had not faded. It had shifted. It had moved from accusation to reflection, from anger to confrontation with reality. And through it all, one truth remained clear. Calm, deliberate words often carry far more weight than impulsive outrage. For those watching, the story didn't end on stage. It lingered in living rooms, classrooms, and workplaces. Questions lingered. Why hadn't the truth been addressed sooner? What would Barron do next? How does one confront the shadows of a family legacy under the glare of millions of eyes? The stage had been set, the trap had been laid, and the nation had witnessed it all. Every viewer was left with a lingering tension, a story that demanded more answers, a narrative that refused to fade. Because sometimes, the real drama isn't in who speaks the loudest. It's in who speaks the truth with unshakable calm.